You weren't supposed to notice. You weren't supposed to question the room you were born in, the one that told you who to be, what to feel, what not to say. But something cracked. A glance that didn't match the words. A silence that screamed louder than the noise. A moment that whispered, "This is not the truth." You brushed it off. The first time, the second time, you swallowed it. But on the third time, something inside you flinched. And that flinch, that tiny rebellion, was the beginning of your awakening. But not everyone celebrated it. They smiled, but only as long as you stayed asleep. We'll return to that smile. What if I told you your entire life was structured like a bedtime story? Clean, predictable, reassuring. Except you weren't the author. You weren't even the main character. You were a theme, a moral, a function. You learned to cry at the right times, smile on cue, shrink your thoughts down to something palatable. So they keep feeding you love. You weren't raised, you were rehearsed. But what if the moment you broke the script was the first time you actually existed? We'll come back to that too. They praised you for how quiet you were, for how grateful, for how easy to love. But what they meant was, you're easy to manage. You performed love, you performed peace, you performed wholeness. But under the performance, you were screaming. Tell me, who taught you that love means disappearing? Who convinced you that wholeness was dangerous? You thought if you showed your fear, they'd soothe it. But the moment you did, they handed you silence. We'll talk about that silence soon. Here's the part they don't tell you. Waking up doesn't feel powerful. It feels like grief. It feels like loss.